Use this leader to focus the picture and adjust the sound volume. The film will then be ready for correct projection.
Everyone looks forward to growing up, and it's a good feeling to be given more responsibility for looking after yourself. An important part of that responsibility is learning safe and fun ways to use your time when you are alone at home.
My mom works during the day, so from the time I get out of school till she comes home, I'm on my own. Hi, Mom, I'm home. Yeah, everything's fine. What do we do in school today? We do more long division.
Sometimes I'm left alone with Jimmy if Mother's just going to be gone a little while. Looking after him is a big responsibility, but Mom knows she can depend on me.
My mom and Dad used to get a babysitter for me when they went out. But now, if they're just going to be gone for an hour or two, they leave me by myself. I used to feel a little funny about it, but now it's something I look forward to. It's nice to be alone once in a while.
Like a lot of other kids I know, I spend a lot of time at home alone. Now, if you're going to spend time by yourself, there's some things you should know about. One of the most important things is how to be responsible for your own key. Learn how to use your key. And of course, be careful not to lose it. You may want to put it on a string or chain around your neck, but keep the key hidden. Don't let anyone know that sometimes you're home alone.
If you keep your key in your pocket, put it on a key ring so it'll be easy to find if you drop it on the ground.
You know, it's real important to know what to do in case of an emergency. That's why my parents tell me who to call and what to do if something did go wrong. We started by making a list of all the important phone numbers. We included my parents' phone numbers at work, the police department, fire department, our neighbor who's usually home, and a relative who lives near us, Aunt Susie.
Put your list of phone numbers where they'll be easy to find. The best place is next to the telephone. It's also a good idea to carry a list with you in case you aren't home and need them.
When I have these phone numbers, it makes me feel a lot better about being by myself. This way, there's always someone to call if I need help. We gave an extra house key and a list of phone numbers to our neighbor, Mrs. Ryan. She's home most of the time, and if I ever need anything, I know I can count on her.
Next, find out exactly what your parents want you to do if there's an emergency.
That's right, honey. I want to be sure that you know what to do if something happens. For instance, if you smell smoke or see fire.
Mom made sure I knew how to work things I'd have to use, like how to set the thermostat. And how to lock all the windows and doors.
Something else you need to work out with your parents is what you can do and what you can't do. The first question I had was about using the telephone.
What is important about using the phone is knowing how often and for how long to use it.
Oh, it's okay to use the phone, but only for a few minutes at a time, honey. And that way I won't get a busy signal if I try to reach you in a hurry.
Then there's the question, what about leaving the house?
Well, unless it's an emergency, don't leave the house unless you tell Dad or me. And that way we won't worry about you.
And what about television? It's best to get answers to questions like these before you begin to spend time by yourself.
Since I was going to take care of Jimmy, Mom and I went over what I should know. Jimmy's still pretty young, so I have to be real careful to watch out for him. Mom taught me some first aid. I learned how to take care of cuts and scrapes, insect stings, and small burns. It sure came in handy one day when Jimmy fell and scraped his elbow. Since it wasn't a real bad scrape, I took care of it myself. Of course, I called Mom and told her what had happened. Knowing how to do all that sure makes me feel better about looking after my little brother.
Being on your own is a responsibility that begins as soon as you leave school. So unless you've made other arrangements with your parents, always go straight home.
Hey, we're going to the field to play football. Want to come?
When?
Oh, in about an hour.
I'll have to ask my mom.
Why don't I come to your place and wait while you find out?
Not right now. I'll meet you over at the field if it's okay.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Having friends over to your house is fine if your parents know about it. But unless they say it's all right, don't let anyone into your home when you're alone.
When I go home, there's some things I always watch for. I look for signs that someone may have broken in, such as a broken window, a window that looks like it's been forced open, or if a door isn't all the way closed. Don't go inside. Get to a phone and call your parents or the police. After I've made sure nothing is wrong, I go into the house and lock the door right away so I won't forget to. I also call my dad right away so he'll know I'm home. Hi, Dad, I'm home. Yeah, everything's fine. Good, you'll be home on time?
Sometimes when I'm alone at home, I get bored and lonely. That's why I always try to have something planned to do every day. I always like to do my homework as soon as I get home. That way, I can watch a couple of my favorite TV shows later. If I ever feel lonely, I call a friend and talk a while. Mom doesn't want me to stay on the phone for more than a few minutes in case she has to call me. But just talking to someone makes me feel better.
I always do the chores when I first get home. Then I can work on one of my hobbies. I like to grow things. It's a little work, but it's fun. And Jimmy likes to help me. Whenever I'm outside, I put the phone where I can hear it ring, just in case Mom or Dad call.
When you're home alone, you'll probably have lots of time to do things you really enjoy. If you want to leave the house, say to visit friends down the street. Be sure it's all right with your parents, and they know where you're going. And of course, be sure to take your key and lock the door. No matter how old you are, it's natural to feel a little scared once in a while when you're home alone. If you ever feel this way, the best thing to do is to talk to someone about it. Since your parents can't always be reached by phone, have the number of someone you can call and talk to.
Not too well. I'm a little scared. Nothing. It was not really big. My parents aren't home and I haven't heard from them.
Sometimes, just talking about a fear will make you feel a lot better.
It's just that you weren't home when you said you'd be.
I'm sorry, son. From now on, if we're going to be late, we'll be sure to give you a call.
Okay.
One good way to feel better about being home alone is to know that you're ready for any emergency that might happen.
I've only been really scared once, when I was alone. That's when there was a big storm coming in. It was late and getting dark outside. There was a big flash of lightning. All of a sudden, the lights went out. Sure, I was scared, but my mom and I had talked about what to do if the power went out, so I was ready. Mom said that if anything like that happened when I was alone, the first thing I'd do is call her. Mom told me to wait for a little while. She said that when the power goes out, it usually comes on in a few minutes. She was right.
Jason handled that emergency very well. He stayed calm and did what he and his mother had talked about. When you're home alone, it'll be your responsibility to deal with people that call or come to the door. The most important rule to remember is, never let any stranger know that you are the only one home.
No, she can't come to the phone right now. But if you'd like to leave a message, I'll have her call you back.
That's just the way to handle calls from people you don't know. Tell them that your parent can't come to the phone. You don't have to say why. Offer to take a message. If it sounds urgent, you can call your parent and give them the message.
Hello, Mom? This lady called by the name of Mrs. Williams. She would like you to call her. Her number is 635.
Another rule. Never let a stranger into your house. Don't even open the door. Just talk through it. Here's one thing you might hear.
Who is it?
Hi, I'm a friend of your mom. I'm supposed to meet her here in a half hour, but I got here a little early. Would it be all right if I come in and wait for her?
No, I'm sorry. Please come back in a half hour.
Here's another thing you might hear.
Yes?
My car just broke down. Can I use your phone to call a tow truck?
No, but there's a coffee shop on the corner, and they have a phone. Or you could try the people next door.
But I'm late for an appointment.
I'm sorry, there's a phone at the coffee shop just around the corner.
If you don't know someone, don't let them into your house, no matter what they say or what reason they give. Be polite, but firm. Most strangers that come to your door are sincere and honest people. But when you're home alone, you don't want to take chances.
Learning how to take care of yourself is part of growing up. But there are some things that you should talk to your parents about before you spend time home alone.
Learn how to use your key, and of course, be careful not to lose it. Make a list of who to call if you need help. Find out exactly what your parents want you to do in an emergency. And what about using the telephone? Or having friends over? Know what to do if you see an open window or door. Call a parent as soon as you get home, so they don't worry. Never tell anyone that you're home alone. Always keep the door locked. Never let a stranger into the house. And if you're ever lonely or afraid, call someone. It'll usually make you feel better. Learning to look after yourself is part of growing up. And being alone can be a rewarding experience. Just remember some basic suggestions, and there shouldn't be any problem about being alone at home.